Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Goblin Coaches Show. Coach Stoller's kind of replaced here Coach Young, and we're going to talk a little bit. Coach, nice run in the state tournament.
Well, thank you. It was very proud of the young men. They battled hard, and we knew we had a tough part of the bracket to go through, and darn near got through it. It was a lot of fun. We're good enough to be in the finals, but so are the two teams that are in there.
The first game, and I talked to you a little bit about this off air. Jackson Dozier played in let's go to the Forest City game first when it was down the line. Big John got in foul trouble. You brought Jackson Dozier in the middle of the game to give you some minutes, and Forest City had kind of made a run on there, and we fell down quite a bit. But when Big John fouled out, you went to a different lineup, something that we hadn't seen before. You brought Mikey Andresen in instead of Jackson Dozier at that time. And I think, Jackson Dozier's done a fantastic job for you, giving you quality minutes when games were on the line. The Huntsville game played well against Mountain Home. He did extremely well. At that time, it was just a situation where I thought that was a very good move on your part, and I think it was a difference of experience of the opportunity for Mikey to come in.
Oh, yes, Mikey's been there. He played in the state tournament last year, and he's a senior, and seniors they're hungrier at that time of the year than others are. And another thing is he was guarding their big postman, and they really weren't going to him. And so that enabled us to get more guards on the floor, to get more quickness on the floor, and be more perimeter oriented, open up the basket a little bit, and still hope that they didn't drop it down in that 6'7" kid. Unfortunately for us, they didn't. And Mikey did an outstanding job of keeping him off the boards as well.
He did. He played extremely well and you're right, seniors at that point, because they know that when the clock ends and they're on the short end of the stick, the season's over and their career in some cases are over.
Yes, and they're a little extra hungry that time of the year, and he went in there, and it just we're just fortunate things worked out, because he really did play well, stepped up, had a big steal late in the game, and it was a great finish for us.
Set up the Alex Rose to Kendall Martin. You can still see that play today with him breaking to the basket, nice little feed to him. He lays it up, and we tie 1.6 seconds and go into overtime and dominated the overtime.
And that's what happened. That was the opening up, like we talked about, opening the basket up with a pick and roll. They're having to go out on the floor and guard Mikey, and it opened up for that pick and roll, and Kendall and Alex did a great job making that work.
Let's fast forward to the next day. Sylvan Hills. They obviously their Division I prospect Archie Goodwin is a player. I thought you guys did a great job early in the ball game defending him when you went to the 2-3 zone and then you put Kendall on him. The charge and the technical was kind of a turning point for them, because he became frustrated. And by watching the game film and seeing what he was doing, he looked like he tried to do too much. Even good players sometimes try to get out of their comfort zone, and he was trying to do, I thought, too much.
He was frustrated. I believe it was the fourth quarter. He hit a shot from the top of the key. It was probably 25 feet out. And I felt like he hit that shot, and they took a timeout. And I don't remember whether we were up 4 or 5 at that point, but when he took that shot, I felt like it was a give-up shot. I felt like if he missed that shot, that was pretty much it was a done deal, because we could have added to our lead at that point, and it went in. And it gave him a little confidence, and he come back down the very next trip. We score, he comes back down, and he hits another 3 where he goes between his legs and, step back, and it was about a 25-footer. And so I think that shot led to the next, and felt like if he'd have missed that shot, I thought it was over. And because he just didn't have the body language when he let it go. But fortunately for him, it went in, and he really did step it up from that point on. He's really a real good player, and thought our guys did a real good job of defending him for the most part. But we drew some charges, we fell sometimes and didn't get the charge, but he come at us hard, and he's just a real special athlete, and really took over late in the game.
Looking forward to the finals between him and Alma. It's going to be a domination of really an offense for Sylvan Hills and for Alma that goes through one guy. They're each, every down the floor, and looking at Sylvan Hills and watching Alma they wait to see what their guy's going to do. Sylvan Hills just passed the ball around and waited till Archie got it, and then whatever he decided he wanted to do that time down the floor. If he wanted to drive it, he wanted to shoot it, and if he wanted to let somebody else shoot, he kind of like gave it up and let somebody else do that. Same thing with Isaac McCoy. You're going to see the same thing.
Oh yeah, they're very similar teams. They are what they are. But the thing that I think that where Alma has a great advantage is we scouted Sylvan Hills before our game and felt like that the people around Archie weren't as strong as what they played against us.
Right.
And I don't know whether that was a one-game thing or whether they're, that's the big question that I have because I know Alma has real good players that can shoot it and play off of Isaac real well. Where I think Sylvan Hills, Archie kind of goes out on his own a lot. And they don't really work together as smooth as Alma does. So there, I'd like to give Alma the advantage there, but boy, it should be an entertaining game to watch.
Not to, I talked a little bit with Coach Young about this, about home court advantage in the state playoffs. I'm a firm believer that it needs to be neutral sites. I know that's not as easy as it sounds for me to come out here and say, neutral sites, because it takes a lot of work to hold on one of those tournaments. But the proof is on the girls' side with Alma on the home court advantage, how they're able to advance. It's two things said, how tough it is in the 5A West. Because the 4-seed Huntsville Eagles beat a number 1 seed Blytheville, and they were a tough team, Huntsville was. Mm-hmm. And the 5A West had 7 teams advance out of the first round, 7 out of 8. And the moving, it shows how tough it is to play in the 5A West, but let alone get a home court advantage in the state playoffs.
Oh, that's for sure. And Siloam put out a 1 seed. Siloam
Yes.
put out the Southwest 1 seed in Arkadelphia. So, you are right. It's very tough, and it's a huge advantage for Alma. And I sure would like our chances if we played at the Spook House in the state tournament, being 13-0.
And that's my point. I mean, and I asked Tice yesterday, and I said this earlier. I'm not putting rumors out, but I said, how nice would it be to have a state tournament at the Spook House?
We'd have gone for that. That would have been nice.
You wouldn't mind a little extra work for it if you're telling your boys, you know what, we're going to go down and spend the night in Hot Springs. They're going to get to play on this nice little floor, and it's kind of a nice little deal, right?
It is. It is. It worked out real good for Alma.
Let's talk a little bit about the 9th grade team that you've got. The 9th grade boys that are coming up from the junior high. That's a good quality basketball team. You got 2 things there. You got size, and you got some good shooting capabilities that play good defense. And they got a kid that's been who really was the point guard for a long, long time that didn't play all year because he was hurt. But that's a quality group that's going to join a group of experienced players because you're getting two returning starters back for next year.
Yes, we have Alex and Dalton both back who started the whole year, and we're excited about that. I think they'll both be better next year. This time next year, I think both of them will be playing a lot of AAU ball throughout the summer, and we'll be going to team camps, and those two spend a lot of time in the gym. And then you have Jackson Dozier back, who played a lot, backing up John. He also, a lot of times people forget it, he also practiced all year against John.
Right.
And I think that really helped him. And he's on an AAU team out of Branson, and so he's going to be playing, and they're going all over the country this summer. So he's going to play a lot. And so, those guys, and then you've got some others, players like Trent Sanders and Drew Dickey and Logan Murray, and there's some other guys that we feel like, and Corey Gelvin, a lot
Jackson
of guys
Dorman.
and Jackson Dorman. Oh, yes,
but he's going to be. I would not to predict anything here, but he's probably going to be your defensive specialist.
He is, and he can defend anybody. He really can.
Going to fill the role of Kendall Martin.
Yes, and we're he's one of those players that can stop anybody, defend anybody, and rebound anybody. And he's going to improve throughout the summer as well. So we like our personnel back. And then you bringing up the 9th graders, we had an outstanding year. Mm-hmm. Coach Wilson does a great job with those guys. And again, he did a great job with them this year. And those guys are really excited about playing. Coach Wilson took it upon himself, brought those boys up every night in the state tournament on that bus, and made sure that they were there to watch. And I thought that was great of him to do that. Mm-hmm. And with the personnel we have some guys that have a legitimate chance of stepping in there playing. They're very dedicated. Mm-hmm. A couple of their guys, they spend a tremendous amount of time in the gym. and I'm a real advocate of that. Basketball is a very skilled sport, and you can't get skilled by watching other people do it on TV. You got to go out and spend the time with it. And we have some young men that are willing to do that, and we're really excited about having them.
It's exciting. Asking you when you start with them, after spring break, you'll start to get in the weight room with them. It is a big step. I mean, let's not fool anybody. 9th grade to 10th grade, playing junior high basketball to playing senior high varsity basketball. That is a huge step. Even JV basketball, it is a step that's huge. The strength that's required to play at the high school level is greater than what people think it is. Those kids are out there, they're strong, those bodies, those kids can beat you up a little bit. Look at Mountain Home. They got 2 kids, 6'7" this year. One's going to graduate, but still, those are powerful, big kids, and you got to be strong enough to deal with some of that.
Oh yeah, it's a physical game, and the weights are very important. And matter of fact, our freshmen that are coming up, they're already in the weight room right now. They finished. I think they went in about a week after the junior high season ended. So they're in there lifting now with Leo, and we'll get these senior high guys involved a little bit more here. Coming up after spring break.
Coach, I'll ask you as I asked Coach Young. Not that I want to look too much into the next year's schedule, but any changes that you're going to tweak to the schedule? You're going to pretty much keep it the same? Going to play the same type of tournaments besides the Lindell Thomas?
Yes, we're on the backside of a number of 2-year contracts. We have a return trip to Heritage that we'll have to fill, and I think Bentonville has a return trip to our place. So, a lot of it is the two-year deals. So we're on the backside of a lot of those. We renewed our deal with Bearville. So we'll be going to Bearville again next year. So the schedule will look very similar, and we're going to play Branson. I think
was going to say
there's a rivalry developing
and
there.
You include the Mountain Home games, which has always been good, home and home type scenario. We do the Lindell Thomas Classic. You're going to go to Joplin or no?
No, girls go to Joplin. We'll go to Forsyth.
We'll
go to Forsyth, and then we have the Lindell Thomas tournament. And, of course, we just renewed our 2 games with Mountain Home. They'll be the same corresponding dates. So it'll be a very similar schedule, which is a very difficult schedule.
It is very tough.
We'll have to play well.
I talked a little bit with Coach Young about that, too. His girls didn't win a game at Lindell Thomas, but come out and you saw huge steps from the Lindell Thomas to the 5A West. That's a big, good springboard into the 5A West out of that Lindell Thomas Classic.
You bet. That's when things start to happen. You really play well. You want to be playing well. You want to win games up to that point. But that Lindell Thomas, like you said, that's a springboard in the conference, and that's really, really when you try to really get that momentum going in the conference.
The momentum for you carried well winning that overtime game over Huntsville. Actually double overtime, big win over Huntsville, and then kind of springboarding into that 5A West, which is good. Coach, thanks for coming on week after week, and until next year with the Coaches Show, Coach Staller, you'll be back, right?
You betcha.
All right. Until next year, this has been the Coaches Show. I'm your host, Lauren Tepper, and we appreciate the coaches of the Harrison Goblins and Lady Goblins joining us week after week. Coach,